Do you think because you only have two friends and a lot of enemies, you're abnormal? Have you ever thought of why am I the only one who has got a very small circle? Or you've heard of someone saying that my circle is usually very small. I'm a lone ranger. Some people even call you're an introvert. Have you ever found yourself in that position where some tragedy has happened, or maybe you need some help, and your circle is so small, it's like a handful, and you question yourself like, am I normal, or am I abnormal? No. Well, this video is for you. In these few minutes, I'll be taking you through and proving to you that you know what, you're not abnormal. You're a very normal person. It's only that you tend to pick and choose what to absorb and not to absorb. Once again, for those who are joining me for the first time, my name is Kunguru87 and welcome to the Surviving Men series. And I hope you stay tuned. Don't forget to like this particular video, comment, and last but not least, subscribe, because today you're offering free subscription services. Now, before wasting your time, there's this thing where you found yourself in a very small circle or a handful of friends or a handful of people who you are just like negotiating with them or associating with them. You are not abnormal. You are a very normal person. Some people call you genius. Some people will end up even giving you names like introvert. Well, as I said, we are in a free country, we are in a free world, and thinking is not like subjected to some sort of criminality or something wrong that people have done. So, number one, without wasting your time, is that if you find yourself you're having a few friends within your circle, is that you have a natural intolerance for fake people. The people do not like fake friends. You quickly read the circle, you quickly read the room when you walk inside a room, and you can notice, even if you guys are having a meeting somewhere where your colleagues, maybe your friends, maybe your relatives, maybe your business partner, you're so fast in reading the room. You do not tolerate nonsense. You do not tolerate those fake friends. Many times you'll find yourself that you've either taken your phone and started scrolling, or you've just taken a book and started reading it because you're like, okay, maybe I have to be here physically, but mentally it's not a must for me to be here. Maybe you want to be counted because, oh, you attended this particular function, but to some extent you don't feel like you belong to this particular group. You quickly notice that, you know what, this is not my circle. So you don't want to walk away to appear to be rude or to appear like, he does not attend these meetings, but you're there physically, but mentally, emotionally, you're not there because you've already noticed this particular group is full of fake friends. This particular meeting that you're having is full of fake friends, fake colleagues. They're just doing it because of the numbers so that you may appear that you actually are present. Another point to tell you that you're not a normal person is when your preference for deep and meaningful conversations. You know that those people who never have what you call authentic conversations. They pretend a lot. Like, let me say you guys are having a business, and they know very well that certain individual or certain a plan you guys are having will not work, but they continue pushing that narrative that, you know what, we should continue be having this kind of conversation. Many a times, such kinds of conversation, we tend to avoid them. Yes, you're in that particular room, you've shown up for the numbers, but you've just tried to avoid this particular conversation. Like, you know what, I don't want to be part of this group. You guys are not authentic. You guys are pretend. You guys is like you're pretending. You guys are not authentic. Maybe people are presenting. Maybe you're a leader of a particular men's group, a ladies group, or a particular team, and you feel these people are just giving fake stories. Then their stories are not aligning with reality. You tend to switch a lot of times. If you find yourself you're so picky when it comes to people who are so authentic, your friendship is authentic, your loyalty is authentic, you will tend to pick those people aligned to right the very second they start opening their mouth, whether they start sharing a story, because you'll be like, no, this is not my place. But just because I came here, I wanted to be part of this particular group, I'll sit here. But immediately you switch off. That many times, let me tell you, do this practice. If you find yourself you're not usually attentive to something and you keep on hearing someone saying, I beg your pardon, those people usually switch off. They're not there for fully percent. They're not there like 100%. They're just there because either the situation made them to be there. It's because they read the room and they felt that they're not authentic. Recently I was in another meeting, and this individual was actually leading and giving us points in this meeting. There's another individual at the corner there who their mind wasn't there, and when it reached their turn to present a particular case, they took what you call a dovetail and they tell them, could you just go to the next person so that I comp up and I polish up my notes a bit so that I come back to you. They never wanted to agree or to accept that they were not attentive, but they deviated that kind of question. So they wanted to use the next person's answer to also try and come up with a storyline and answer it so that they could not be detected that yes, you're here physically, but your mind is not here. Another point is that high social sensitivity and need for recovery. You find those people where you find yourself in that particular group where after people have already had a meeting, you tend to withdraw and go and reread or go and recuperate or go and try to reminisce or to think of the day's activities. If maybe you guys were in a workshop, you guys in a particular meeting on a forum, most of the times people tend to act immediately. I've had people tell individuals that do not think when your mouth is also open, like the words will just come out and flow. So many times that those individuals, or you'll find yourself, you keep on telling individuals like, you know what, let me retreat back home. I'll give you back the answer in the course of the day. I'll revert back in the evening. Maybe you've been given a letter to read and they need your answer there, and then you'll tell them that, you know what, let me go back home. Let me take a few minutes. Let me sleep on it. Let me think about it. It doesn't mean that you're abnormal. You're just a normal person. You're that person who takes high interest and you want to be sure with the answers that you'll give. You want to be sure with the approach that you'll give. You want to be sure with the verdict that you'll give, because you don't want to give what you call irrational answers. To some extent, you take time in reading and analyzing a particular document. Maybe you've been given a contract to sign in the course of the day. Maybe you're employed somewhere. Maybe it's your contract. You don't just go there and put your signature on. No, you take your time, you read it. You want to have what you call, you want to make sure this document resonates with what you wanted. Are your demands met? Is it going to affect you negatively, or what are the downside of it? What if I don't sign? What if I try to go against the contract that was given? You're not a mad person. You're not an illiterate person. You're not an overthinker. You're not insane. You're just high and key oriented person. You're a high sensitive person where you don't like to put a judgment in something you're not sure, because in this world of today, you've heard those phrases where people say whatever you do can and will be used against you in the court of law and blah 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 blah. Another point is that you're strong, independent, and minimal need for outside approval. I had a colleague recently or previously who really wanted what you call a public approval. Before he or she will have done anything, they will want people to give them approval, like, hey, I've done so and so, what do you think? Each and every time before they made a move. You've heard of those we call them mama's boys, where they need their mama's approval, they need their daddy's approval before they partake a certain decision, before they do something else. They need their husband's approval, they need their wife's approval before they do a particular task. But if you find yourself, you don't need those. You don't need public approval. Not each and every time you need people to approve whatever you're doing. It doesn't mean you're mad. No. It simply means that you're in that particular room, you are there present, you're there emotionally and physically, and you're being attentive. You've analyzed this particular document, and you're so 100% sure with yourself that come what may, you made the best of the best decision ever, and no one should question you. It doesn't mean that you're a mad person. There are those people who are so independent to an extent that they usually don't even seek like a second opinion from someone. They just think about something and they just take 10 minutes and they come up with an idea, and the idea usually very excellent. It means they've got a very good social esteem, that they don't even feel naive in answering a question. They don't even second guess their own decisions that they make. If you find yourself with that kind of person where many times people come and ask you, hey, so and so, hey, Kunguru, what do you think about this particular? Just like guess. You say 2 words or 3 words and you don't even second guess. And many a times people like following such individuals. Have you ever found yourself where people come to seek validation from you and you've never gone to them to seek validation? It's not that because you're abnormal. Some people will call you genius. Some people will call you Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect. It's just that you are that kind of person. You resonate with yourself. I don't know to call you if you've got your fingertips, the hands on your fingertips, or you've read a lot, or you are very much exposed. But to some extent, It just shows that you're a cautious person in the next steps that you take in each and every day. If you're doing a particular task you've been assigned with the bosses, if it's a particular business that you're going to see, you've already foreseen the outcome and you act on it immediately without seeking approval for someone. Another last but not least is higher trust barriers shaped on the past experiences. Those people who've undergone a lot of things outside there. If it's in a relationship, they've actually been disappointed many times. If it's a business deal, they've actually lost very many business deal. If it's a job opportunity, they've lost very many job opportunities. So they've learned. So next time, they'll not be starting from scratch. They start from experience. You'll find that many times your circle becomes so small because you've been disappointed before with the groups. You've been disappointed before with your colleagues. You've been disappointed before with your business partner. So you're not starting from a scratch. You're starting from experience. So when certain incident is about to happen, you've already predicted, you've already seen it, it's coming. Then you tell them, don't follow this particular route, don't try this particular business avenue, don't develop such a particular practice, because previously you learned from it. It taught you some lessons. So you don't want to find yourself repeating the same mistake, because if someone else who knows you and finds you in that particular situation, they'll be like, I thought you last year, but one previous time this thing happened. Why are you allowing yourself to be beaten twice? I thought I warned you because of entering into such a relationship without thinking twice, without checking if this particular individual has been married before, or checking if this particular individual already did such. You're coming from experience. You've had a past experience. Once again, let me remind you, if the first time coming here in this particular channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Last but not least, just share out your comment. Last but not least is reframing and empowerment. What are we trying to do? We're trying to tell individuals outside there that if you find yourself that you are that kind of person who, in a particular circle, you like clear and crystal outlining. You don't like to work with assumptions. You don't like to work with, I thought you knew. No. And many times you'll find people saying that if you want to communicate with me, either send an email, send a message, or even try to call. Like the other day I was asking individual, why do you like communicating that you'll come late via WhatsApp? And you know what they told me? Is that when we call them, they'll say, or they change their communication, or they change their tune. They'll say, I thought you mentioned this. Personally, when it's coming to crucial information, it's coming to something that it is more, it can come and bite me later. I like, just put it on paper, write it down, take a photo, send the other person that particular paper, or send an email, or send a WhatsApp message, and make sure you screenshot that and send it even to your email, because maybe your phone can get lost. Maybe someone can hack your WhatsApp and do ABCD. If you find yourself with that kind of individuals where you want things or communication to be done in a clear manner, it doesn't mean you're abnormal. It just means you're a cautious person. This particular circle of yours, they have to be aligning themselves with you. Like, your circle is so small to an extent that they've already known what you want. You already know what this particular circle. Circle doesn't mean that you guys are 5. Maybe it's a circle of 50 persons. Maybe it's a circle of 100 persons. Maybe it's a circle of 5 people. But at the end of the day, your minds resonate the same. Your thoughts are the same. Your actions are more or less the same. Your ideas are more or less the same. Anyone in that particular circle, they don't need validation from another individual so that they can make certain decision. What they do is that their minds run more or less in the same manner. Have you ever heard of someone says that, I know the way they're reasoning, I know the way those people think. Those people, they don't think along this line. No, they reason along this line. If you find yourself resonating with any of these 5 particular points, kindly just put it on the comment section and I'll check you out in the next one. Don't forget to watch this particular video. A peace.